Picking a pick. How do you pick a pick? And when you do pick a pick, should you be picky? And once you've picked a pick, how do you play with a pick? These are all the questions that we're going to answer in today's video. It's not as easy as just grabbing one and rocking and rolling. Different size picks will produce different sounds and different feels. So we're going to walk you through exactly how to hold a pick, how to use a pick, alternate picking and different picking techniques, and choosing the right pick for you. So let's go ahead and start and look at the different kinds. What's the difference? One thing you're going to notice right away is different picks have different colors. Usually a color symbolizes a size. Dunlop has kind of established that, but you can look at a certain pick and say, okay, a green pick is this size, a yellow pick is this size. I know a purple pick is thicker than an orange pick, for example. These particular picks here, you're going to notice are measured in millimeters. Thicker pick, what do you get from different sizes? A thinner pick is going to be a little easier for you to strum because it's more forgiving, meaning you're not going to catch on the strings. It's going to pass through the strings a little easier, and it's going to feel a little easier for you beginners to play out there. But what do you sacrifice? Thicker picks give more attack. They have more muscle. They have more strength. When you dig in with a thick pick, you can really snap the string and you can control the dynamics. You can control the sound and you can control these minor little details in tonalities as well. So a thicker pick is going to give you more attack and more control, but it's going to be a little harder to manage because when they're strumming these thicker picks, it's more likely to get caught in the strings and more likely to go dunk, 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 and give us herky-jerky vibe. So you got to keep that in mind. Thinner picks are going to be easier, but you sacrifice attack. You sacrifice dynamics. Thicker picks are going to be a little harder to play with, but you have more attack, more dynamics, and more versatility. One other thing to keep in mind too, with thicker picks, you're more likely to break a string. When you really dig in and you really snap that string with a thicker pick, you are more likely to snap a string in half as well. That's another kind of low point of having more attack because it's called attack, right? It's not called a tickle fight or anything like that. It's called attack. And when you really dig in and use attack, you can break a string. But hey, that's rock and roll. Sometimes you break some string. These are things to keep in mind when choosing a pick. So when picking a pick, I do recommend being picky, but they're cheap enough that I recommend getting a large variety and playing with a couple and feeling out the one that feels right for you. Another variance though is size, shape. You'll see that some are more pointed at the end, some are more round at the end. Again, these small details really are just personal preference. Some people like a smaller pick because they feel like it's less to hold on to. Some people like a larger pick because they feel like it's easier to grab onto and thus easier to play. Different sizes, different thicknesses. Get a couple, feel them out, try them out, and find the one that's right for you. I recommend a great beginner pick going with a green, something around 0.88 millimeters. That's thick enough to get some attack and play some solos, but also thin enough to strum comfortably. So how do you hold a pick? That's the next thing that we should look at. You're going to take it and you're going to lay it across your index finger. You want it the point of the pick to be pointing in the same direction as your finger, but it's laying on the side, it's laying on the pad, it's not on the nail or anything like that. You're then going to pinch it with your thumb to create a little pressure. From there, you're going to turn it sideways and you're going to roll it over. So now your point is pointing at your body and the point is at a 45-degree angle against your thumb. So the point is going with your index finger and a 45-degree angle away from your thumb, with your thumb and your index finger kind of making this little box where your index finger goes out to the first knuckle and bends at a right angle. This is how you hold a pick. So why don't we go ahead and look at how to strum it now? Cool. So out of those picks that we were looking at, we went ahead and opted for the green one, which is 0.88 millimeters. Okay. When I'm strumming, this is coming from my wrist. You don't want a rigid wrist and you don't want to strum from your hand like this. It shouldn't look like that one arm on the robot when you just Welcome to Las Vegas. You want a nice loose wrist, kind of like you're on a road trip and you go to dry your hands and there's no paper towel and you have to fling your hands dry. It's that same motion. So let's go ahead and make a C chord. Open, 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 fretting the 3rd fret with your ring finger. And we're going to just kind of try to strum through it together. Loose wrist, using that pick, just running through it. And let's give it a down, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Check out my wrist. So that kind of brings up the next question. Where on the electric ukulele is the best place to actually make contact with the pick? Up here, down here? So on an acoustic ukulele, I believe that the golden spot is between where the neck comes together and the sound hole. But if you do that, you have this switch here which controls the pickups. So the golden spot on our electric uk is going to actually be between these two pickups right here. Now there is something called palm muting that you can get a little different sound from, where you actually make contact with the palm and the strings. We're going to look at that a little later. For right now, we just want to focus on how to hold our pick and how to use our wrist. If we lock our wrist too tight, what's going to happen is we're going to either snap a string or we're going to get this sound that sounds like this. And we definitely don't want that. We want it to be loose and fluid. Now, if you find that you're getting that sound anyways, that means maybe the pick is a little too thick for you and you want to try a little thinner pick. Again, the difference is the thicker pick, you're going to get more attack for your solo. But you're going to get hung up a little more when you're strumming. So if you're planning on playing more lead, it's probably a better idea to go a little bit thicker. If you're going to be doing kind of some bass movement ideas, maybe a little thicker. If you're going to be mostly strumming, it's probably better to go just a little bit thinner. So let's go ahead and make a C chord, a G chord, an A minor, and an F. We're going to flip this switch up as well too. When it comes to tone, your bridge pickup up here is a little better for strumming. Because it gets a little thicker, rounder sound. I'm sorry, your neck pickup. Your bridge pickup is a little better for soloing because it gets a little higher. So we're going to set that pickup up towards our chin. We're going to go ahead and do down, down, up, down, up. And we're going to keep a nice loose wrist with our hand right here. And we're going to try to get that pick right between these two pickups. And we're going to strum through this circle together. Now, with the pickup or with the pick, you don't need to really dig in because you're going to get kind of this floppy, jangly, sharp sound. If you want a round, clean, smooth sound, you want to be light. A loose grip, a loose wrist, and a light strum. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so that's how you really want to practice getting used to strumming. Loose wrist, aim between here. Now you know how to hold the pick and you know how to choose. Now, picks are pretty cheap. When you go to buy them, buy a variety of sizes and play around and find the one that's most comfortable for you. When it comes to lead, you're also going to need to get used to a couple of things. One of them is just playing licks. And the other is alternate picking. Picking up and down. That's what that means. So we're going to go ahead and do just a basic lick. And we're going to do it two ways. One with quarter notes. So we're going to start on the second fret of the C string with our index finger, middle finger 4th fret, then your index finger will go down to the 3rd fret of the E string, ring finger up to the 5th, index down to the 3rd, middle to the 4th, index to the 2nd, and open C. And these are all quarter notes, meaning we count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All down. Now what I'm doing here is, you'll notice I'm not really coming from my wrist here. When we're using the pick for individual notes, we just have our hand right here, and I'm just using my wrist in a much tighter motion. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So just practice that motion just with down strums. If you have a metronome laying around, grab a metronome and set your metronome to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get comfortable with that, though, we're going to introduce the idea of alternate picking. And this is another thing that you need to get used to if you're just new to playing with picking, and it looks like this. That's where we are picking down. We're also playing the notes picking up. And you'll do this when it's one and. So we're actually going to do the exact same riff, but you're going to pick every note down and then follow it with an up pick. Again, look at my hand. It's not moving much. It's just down, up, down, up. Let's actually just fret the 2nd fret of the C string, and let's just do that on one string together. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We're going to go through it nice and slow. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. A little quicker. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, set a metronome to this. Practice that over and over and over again until you feel really confident and comfortable with it. It's called alternate picking. There are advanced styles of picking like hybrid picking. And you're going to see some new things as you continue to move forward. But really, this is the foundation of playing with a pick. Choosing the right pick for you, learning how to hold it, loose wrist, where to strum, how to strum, and how to pick individual notes, and alternate picking. Once you have the foundation of that, you're ready to go ahead and play with the pick, if you choose so, because you can also play this type of ukulele with your fingers as well. You're not obligated to play with a pick. And there you have it, friends, family. That's everything you need to know about a pick for now. Again, go to your local guitar shop, preferably mom and pops. If you don't have anything close, you can jump on Amazon, get a bag of different size. They come in, I think, 12 maybe being the smallest size. Get a variety of colors. You can even get variety packs. Play with as many and find the one that's right for you. The most important thing being learning to hold it properly. You don't want to hold it incorrectly and start with bad habits. You want to hold it correctly from the start and start with some good habits. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't have to play with a pick. I do play with a pick. I like the sound, but I also play with my fingers. Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits never played with a pick. Jimi Hendrix always played with a pick. John Mayer sometimes does and sometimes doesn't. So ultimately, it's up to you, but I think versatility is very important, and you should practice it, and you should be able to at least play with a pick if you have to. And there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about playing with the pick with your brand new e-uke, all right? Catch you in the next video. What we're doing next? Check it out and find out.